John Wayne's heart stopped when he noticed the tattoo marks on Dr. Sarah's arms. He had seen these marks before, in war, in enemy camps. "Who are you?" he asked. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "I should be dead, John, but the person you really need to protect isn't me." In the harsh winter of 1875, Copper Ridge was dancing with death. A diphtheria epidemic had gripped the small settlement. Male doctors had either fled or succumbed to the disease. The town's only hope was the mysterious female doctor who arrived on the last train. Dr. Sarah Mitchell was different from the moment she stepped into town. Her long brown hair was pulled back in a tight bun, a leather bag in her hand, and an indecipherable determination in her eyes. But what drew the most attention were the thin white marks on her left arm, as if someone had carved them into her skin. John Wayne, as the town's sheriff, greeted her. He was a 40-year-old experienced man returning from war. When they shook hands, he noticed how Dr. Sarah's palms trembled. "Welcome, Doctor," said John. "The town needs you." Sarah nodded without letting her eyes linger on John's face. "Where are the patients?" Her first patient was 7-year-old Emily Carter. The girl had been burning with fever for 3 days, unable to breathe. Her family was desperate. Sarah knelt beside the child's bedside, placed her hand on her forehead, and closed her eyes. John saw the woman's lips moving silently. Was she singing or praying? He couldn't tell. 10 minutes later, a miracle happened. Emily's fever broke. She could breathe. Her family hugged Doctor. Sarah crying. "How did you do that?" John asked. Sarah was packing her bag. "It's medicine, Sheriff. Science." But John knew this was more than science. As days passed, Dr. Sarah's fame spread beyond the town. Patients began coming from surrounding settlements. The woman seemed to be able to communicate with illness itself, healing everyone she touched. But the town's conservative men were not pleased with this situation. "A woman being a doctor goes against the laws of nature," shouted Morrison the butcher. "Maybe she's a witch," whispered Thompson the barber. When John Wayne heard these conversations, he got angry. One evening, he decided to keep watch at Sarah's clinic. The woman worked until late hours. "You should go home, doctor," said John. "It's dangerous." Sarah put down the bandage in her hand. "Danger is my friend, Sheriff. Has been for a long time." "What do you mean?" Sarah hesitated. "Some secrets kill you, John. Others keep you alive." That night, stones were thrown at Sarah's clinic. Windows were broken. John heard voices shouting from outside, "Drive the witch out of town." The next morning, while John was repairing the clinic, he saw the mark on Sarah's arm more clearly. His heart stopped. This mark, he recognized this sign. "Sarah," said John, his voice trembling, "that mark on your arm, where did you get it?" Sarah stopped her hands while wrapping a bandage. There was a long silence. "Do you remember the war, John?" "Which war?" 1864, Sand Creek? You were there." John's breath caught. Sand Creek, that nightmare of a night. Lieutenant John Wayne had participated in an operation to raid an innocent Cheyenne camp under his commander's orders. That night, hundreds of innocent people were killed. "You? Were you there?" Sarah rolled up her sleeve. White marks ran along her arm. "These marks are the knife wounds I received that night, the marks left by soldiers." John's eyes filled with tears. "But you're not Cheyenne." "My mother was Cheyenne. My father was a white trader. I was caught between both worlds. That night, I lost my mother. I lost my brother. I lost myself." Sarah stood up and walked toward the window. "But I gained something. My mother's last words. Turn pain into kindness, my daughter. Let this be your power. I learned the healing herbs she taught me, which wound heals how, which medicine to use when. Then I learned from white doctors too. I combined the knowledge of both worlds. John sat down with trembling hands. I was there that night, Sarah. I know. Sarah turned to him. I recognized you the first time I saw you, but you were different. You weren't killing like the others. You were trying to save. That evening, strangers came to town. 3 men, armed, looking dangerous. They stopped at the saloon and began questioning people. We're looking for Dr. Sarah Mitchell, said their leader, also called Flying Bird. John's blood ran cold. Flying Bird. This was Sarah's Cheyenne name. What do you want with her? She's our escaped prisoner, war criminal. There's a bounty on her head. John understood. Sarah wasn't just a victim of war. After the war, she had acted with Cheyenne warriors seeking revenge. But then she had abandoned them too, because she chose healing over violence. That night, John ran to Sarah's clinic. He found the woman packing her bag. I have to run, John. They found me. Number this is your home. These people need you. But I'm here. John placed his hand on Sarah's shoulder. You won't run this time. This time, you'll be protected. The next morning, the showdown took place in the town center. 3 bounty hunters had drawn their guns. The townspeople had hidden. Hand over Dr. Mitchell, they shouted. John Wayne stood alone in the main street. No one will be harmed in this town. Do you know what she is, Sheriff? She's a killer. She's a healer, said John. She saved this town. When the gunfight began, John could handle 1 person, but he had no chance against 3. Just as he was about to be wounded, Sarah appeared. Stop, she shouted. I'm coming. Sarah, no. But the woman walked toward the bounty hunters. She had raised her hands. I am Flying Bird, but I'm not that person anymore. I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell, and I won't leave this town. The leader smiled. Then you'll die here. As he drew his gun, the townspeople emerged. Morrison, Thompson, Emily's family, all stood behind Doctor. Sarah with guns in their hands. This woman is our doctor, said Morrison. Anyone who touches her deals with us. When the bounty hunters saw a united town before them, they stepped back. They lowered their guns and silently left the town. That evening, Sarah and John sat in front of the clinic. The town had calmed down. Thank you, said Sarah, for protecting me. You protected us, Sarah. Now we protect you too. Sarah smiled. I haven't had a real home for a long time. Now you do. John touched Sarah's hand. The past stays in the past. You're Doctor. Sarah Mitchell now. This town's doctor. My friend. Sarah leaned her head on John's shoulder. Maybe my mother was right. It's possible to turn pain into kindness. Months later, Copper Ridge had become the healthiest settlement in the region. Dr. Sarah's clinic was always full, always filled with hope. John Wayne and Sarah Mitchell never officially married, but the town saw them as a couple. Both carried the weight of their pasts, but together they shared this burden. Sarah no longer hid the marks on her arms. They were part of her story, the story of pain transformed into kindness. And John Wayne now knew there was a way to pay for his mistakes in war, protecting good people, defending what was right. Travelers coming to town would tell stories about Dr. Sarah's miracles. But the real miracle was the love and trust found by a female doctor and a sheriff who overcame the darkness of their pasts. This story was proof of how 2 wounded souls could heal each other. how the pains of the past could transform into the hopes of the future. In Copper Ridge, love didn't just live in hearts, it lived in healing, in protection, and in forgiveness. If this story moved you, if you believe that the mistakes of the past can transform into the kindness of the future, then this channel is for you. At Wild West Love Stories, you discover not just the romance of love, but its healing power. Subscribe and meet us in the next story, because here, every love story is also a story of redemption.